How you doing, sir? Let me just... You are juror number...
49.
49. Well, thank you, first of all, for being here and for your patience.
All right.
It's kind of an imprecise process, but hopefully I was glad we were able to get to you before the end of the day, not have to send you back and come back Monday. Before I begin this process, a couple things. I'm going to swear you in so that all your questions are, or your answers are under oath.
Right.
So if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that you will truthfully answer all questions regarding your qualifications to serve as a juror?
Yes.
All right, thank you. First thing I'm going to ask you about, well, actually, you'll note that we have plexiglass in front of you and to the side and between us. I'm going to keep my mask on since we are fairly close. The attorneys will have plexiglass in front of them. But I think with that layer of protection, if you would wish, either for comfort or to make yourself heard more clearly, you can remove your mask if you'd like. There you go. Okay. But please stay close to the microphone so that we can all hear you. The first thing I'm going to ask you about is the questionnaire. First of all, thank you for filling out the questionnaire. We appreciate you putting time into that. Is everything that's on the questionnaire true?
Yes.
All right. Sometimes, since it was filled out months ago, you may, in reflection, think, I should have put that on, or maybe even an opinion has evolved and it's changed. Is there anything you can think of just off the top of your head that you wanted to comment in that regard?
Well, I don't remember all the questions, so
Right.
It's like 2 months ago when I filled it out.
Right.
So.
And I guess my point is the attorneys will be asking you probably more specific about questions, and they'll refresh your memory by saying what your answer was,
Okay.
and then maybe asking you to comment on it. My point being, feel free that if it's changed, if your opinion has changed, that you volunteer that. You're not going to get in trouble by it changing or being amended. All we're looking for are the honest answers, and sometimes you realize in listening to the question again that you have more information or different. And maybe an opinion that's contained in there, maybe you've changed your opinion. In either case, the whole point is that what we're trying to do is to make sure that we understand what you've been exposed to so far and what opinions you might hold. And the major question is, can you put all that aside? Because when you're a jury, you have to decide the case just on the evidence in the courtroom. And you got to put aside any opinions, any...
It'll be tough because I've heard so much stuff about it.
Yeah, and let me follow up on that, because you had a visible reaction when I said put all that aside, almost like you're asking me to do the impossible. That, if I read you correctly...
Yes, it would be tough for me to...
Well, let's ask how tough. And I know it may seem like I'm kind of beating you into a certain position, but I'm not. The lawyers need to know if you can or can't. It's kind of an almost binary situation. And whatever your answer is fine, as long as it's honest.
Honestly, no.
You don't think
I
you
can't put either side of view to the side.
Okay. And do you think what you've heard and the opinions you've formed probably bias you towards one side?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm not going to say which side. I'm sure that you know on the questionnaire.
Sure. But do you think that's going to, because of the amount of information you have and the opinions you might hold, that you really can't be fair and impartial in this case?
Honestly, I'll be just too nervous right now. Sorry. And that's the truth.
Okay. Yeah, and this is kind of a nerve-wracking situation, even in normal situation. Except for those of us who live in the courtroom.
Right.
People coming in for jury duty and witnesses, it can be kind of a nervous experience. Is it more of the nerves, or you just don't feel you can put aside all the information you know, or both?
Well, it's a mixture of being here, knowing the stuff, and taking too much time on my work.
Okay.
I can't, you said 4 weeks possibly.
Right.
That's a lot of time for me. I don't make much money, so.
Okay, and are you getting paid?
Huh?
Are you getting paid while you're in jury duty? By your employer, that is.
I don't know.
Okay.
I said I possibly could be selected, but I've been told more than that.
Okay, have they indicated, like, do you know what company policies are?
I don't know. They
Okay.
never said anything to me.
All right. I'm just going to briefly consult with the attorneys, and we'll get right back to you. Hold on. You can still stay where you're at. Sir, I'm going to release you. I think given the financial situation you're in, I don't want to mess with your life that much on a long trial, but also the fact that you've got some pretty firm opinions. So thank you for taking the time and for your honesty. You can give that paperwork to the deputy when you go.
All right.
Have a good day. You're completely released from jury service.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, Murphy's Law, when we release too many, this happens. So I hate to waste a good hour or so of court time, but it is Friday, and so we'll go on any further. Anything else that we need to address before we go? We made a record of the stipulated cause. I've talked to you about whether or not about having people self-identify for themselves on the record as opposed to be us just providing it from jury records. So, oh, correct. No, the only thing that, and I only do that because I know the media has been, and appropriately so, reporting on the makeup of our jurors' age and racial identity. And to some extent, it's been the observations and some guesses being made. And I think it's more appropriate that they have accurate information. We would only be talking, and what our plan was to only release how the person self-identified in the jury record and also the decade of their age. For example, if they're 20, 20s. If they're 22, 20s. 29, 20s. Nothing more. No low 20s, just 20s, 30s, 40s, etc. So, if you want to think about that until Monday, if there's a better way, or if maybe I shouldn't be doing it at all, I just think accurate information is better than inaccurate information about what we're doing today. So,
Your Honor, just from our perspective, I think that some transparency.
I think I need you near a microphone of some sort. No.
Your Honor, I was going to say, from the state's perspective, I think some transparency in this process is a good thing. And so we're not going to object to either self-identification or just simply the release of how they self-identified in the survey if seated.
Right. I think it is an appropriate, Blood, your question, if there was a group to ask that question specifically. I think the concern by St. Paul may be that I'm releasing something out of a jury record. So we're just going to consult with them, and I think getting the information out appropriately, following all the appropriate rules in that would be important, but just if anybody had any views about the whole idea. So we aren't leaving people guessing, but being transparent about what's going on here. All right, since we have no video of any of the jurors. All right, with that, I think we're in recess until 8 a.m. Monday when we can argue those other matters. All right, everyone have a good weekend. See you Monday.